everybody has these different stages that they go through in their life. So high school, university, moving out, getting a real job, and then way down the line, having kids. Each stage is different for each person, of course, but there are common themes that run through everybody's life. And each stage can be a monumental thing for a person. So take university, for example. Some people, that means moving away from home, away from your family, into a new city, maybe a new environment, meeting new people, new routines. So that's a pretty big deal, right? But today I'm going to focus not on the stages in people's lives, but the space between these stages. So these steps from stage to stage are among the biggest and most important things in people's lives. And it's not the act of being at university, for example, that's difficult. It's just the act of taking the first step. So literally the step over the threshold of your front door. So that's why this concept is called the threshold step. This idea is important because when we break down what is actually the most difficult for us, what really scares us, then we figure out how to surpass and overcome these fears. So if we continue using the theme of university, it's easy to say that no one is scared of their friends, right? But for example, maybe you feel anxious about meeting new people who could one day become your best friends. So this is your threshold step. This is what's holding you back. And this is what you need to be able to figure out how to confidently step past. So for me, I passed through the classic stages of high school, moving away to university, I'm from Ontario, to making friends. And my biggest threshold step for me may have been last semester. I went to Australia for a semester abroad. And not only was I going to school in another country, another continent, another time zone even, I was doing it all alone. And so, yes, I was flying to meet Mitch, one of my friends, to travel with him before school started, but I had to get there first. And when I woke up that first morning when I was leaving, I was frightened. And that's not just the classic, like, ooh, I'm nervous. It was like, I was honestly terrified about leaving. And the most difficult part for me was not, packing my bags or finding the gate where my flight was. It was literally stepping out of the front door and getting into the car. That was the hardest part. And then I did it again when Mitch and I had finished our amazing trip. I had to get to school, go there, meet new people, all that kind of stuff. And again, taking the first step is always the most difficult, but it's always the most rewarding as well. So if we take the experiences we have and then we start looking forwards, there are basically three major things we can do to deal with and then overcome these threshold steps that we have. So the first thing is if we look back on our life and see where we had the largest threshold steps. So university, moving out, getting a job, whatever something that was difficult and scared you, but like really scared you. So the first thing is to identify those. Number two is taking those experiences and memories and steps and looking ahead to where there may be new potential threshold steps further down the line. So that could be moving cities, maybe getting another degree after your undergrad, maybe starting a family down the road. And by looking ahead to these distant threshold steps, you can better prepare yourself for when they do actually arrive. And then you have the best way that you already know to surpass these. And number three may be the most important, in my opinion. Number three is looking past yourself and your hardships, because number three is about noticing other people's threshold steps and helping do what you can to relieve some of the burdens on those people. So maybe you just started a job 6 months ago, for example, but the most recent hire is having some trouble adjusting to the workplace. Or maybe someone just moved in down the block and are trying to meet new friends. And this is an example we all know pretty well. Someone is new to university, maybe they just came into first year, and they decide that they want to join a club or a society or something like that. And then they decide to join FIDO, because all of us were those kids at one point, right? We were those scared newcomers who really had no idea what was going on or what they were doing there. And our job is to be the kind of person that will help others overcome their threshold steps that they're having trouble with. And that's because doing anything exciting takes guts. Doing anything worth doing at all takes guts. And doing something that you'll remember for the rest of your life takes guts. So the next time you find yourself at one of these threshold steps, don't just think about it and go the other way. Walk right past it into the new stage of your life. Embrace it. Because once it's done, it's done. You've done it. Congrats. You've finished the hardest part. And don't second guess yourself, because I promise it will be worth doing whatever you're doing. Thank you.